In the squared circle, sometimes things don't go according to plan. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 times WWE wrestlers broke character. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the times when wrestlers went a bit off script, forgot the script, or rewrote the whole thing entirely. Breaking character shatters the illusion that wrestling is real and not a staged production, violating a once sacred law known as kayfabe. But it also makes for some of the most fascinating moments in WWE history as well. Number 10, Chris Jericho disqualifies himself to save Neville. On an episode of Raw in 2016, Jericho was battling the high flyer Neville, and their match was going great, until Neville attempted a baseball slide and severely busted his ankle. Obvious to Y2J, Neville was badly hurt and wouldn't be able to perform his acrobatic moveset, so Jericho went for a quick pin to end the match and get some help. But referee Charles Robinson broke the count at 2, and Y2J lost it. Shoving Robinson and screaming obscenities at him, Jericho drew a disqualification to end the match, breaking character in order to help the injured Neville. Number 9, Sid Wants a redo. During a WWE In Your House pay-per-view in 1995, interviewer Jim Ross questions the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase about his desire to obtain the championship belt in an upcoming match between Sid and the WWE champion Diesel. Ross then asks Sid his thoughts on the matter, and the big man completely flubs his lines, getting so frustrated he has to start the promo over again, to which good old JR responds, "This is live, pal." Oh, the joys of live TV. Sid eventually regroups and finishes the promo, but looks none too pleased with his efforts. Number 8, Triple H heals Miraculously. When you're married to the boss's daughter, sometimes you can get too comfortable in the workplace and end up being a bit careless. The same holds true even if your workplace is the WWE, just ask Triple H. During Shawn Michaels' farewell speech on Raw the night after WrestleMania 26, Triple H appeared atop the ramp to hug and congratulate his longtime friend in a truly special moment. But he forgot one thing. Earlier that night, he was attacked from behind with a bloody steel pipe at the hands of Sheamus and knocked unconscious. Seeing Triple H laugh and celebrate later that night is a real kayfabe clusterfuck. Number 7, Mean Gene drops the F-bomb. Another case of WWE talent running into trouble on live TV, but this time with some slightly more colourful language. During SummerSlam 89, Mean Gene Okerlund was set to interview the Intercontinental Champion, ravishing Rick Rude backstage, along with his manager Bobby Heenan. But before Okerlund could get a question out of his mouth, a SummerSlam sign fell off the wall behind him and crashed on the ground, startling the legendary announcer. With Rude and Heenan looking on, Mean Gene drops a "fuck it," causing them to immediately cut his mic, and have ringside announcer Jesse Ventura make some jokes for the save. Number 6, CM Punk laughs at Triple H. During a 2013 episode of Raw, Stephanie McMahon gathered a group of former WWE champions in the ring to discuss the greatness and legacy of the title and its holders. It's only expected that she went on to shower her husband Triple H with praise, naming him the greatest champion of all time. What was unexpected, however, was CM Punk's hilarious reaction to these comments. Punk breaks out in laughter, head in hand, mocking Stephanie's comments and Triple H's multiple title runs in a move that, legend has it, did not go over well backstage with the McMahon family. Number 5, Gail Kim eliminates herself from the Diva Battle Royal. In one of the strangest entries on this list, Gail Kim doesn't quite break character per se, but instead she uses her spotlight on TV in order to give a giant FU to WWE management for her terrible treatment within the company during this time. On a 2011 episode of Raw, mere seconds into the Divas Battle Royal match, and without even being touched, Kim rolls out of the ring and walks backstage, leaving the show's announcers baffled in the process. But Kim didn't care, as unbeknownst to others, she was on her way back to TNA Wrestling anyway. So let's just say she decided to take an early leave of absence. Number 4, Randy Orton consoles Shane McMahon's son. Some backstory on this one. Shane faced The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32 in a Hell in a Cell match where he jumped off the top of the cell, crashed through the ringside table, and nearly killed himself. Oh yeah, and that was with his small children looking from ringside no less. Months later at Survivor Series, Shane took a hard spear from Roman and appeared to be knocked unconscious. And guess what? His son was sitting at ringside again. Talk about a traumatic childhood. Orton was kind of a heel at the time, but having kids himself, he showed that he's a decent guy by consoling Shane's son in the audience, telling him the injury was all part of the show. Aww. Number 3, Vince McMahon is forced back on TV. In 2007, Vince McMahon killed his character off in a whodunit type murder mystery that saw him take some much needed time off away from television to focus on running the company. However, in a tragic event that soon followed, Chris Benoit killed his family and later himself in a heartbreaking double murder suicide. Returning to live TV to address the world and grieving fans, Vince was forced to abandon the murder mystery angle along with the fictional elements of wrestling altogether to pay his respects to the deceased and navigate one of the darkest times in professional wrestling history. Number 2, the curtain call. Back in 1996, kayfabe was alive and well, and wrestlers were expected to be in character in and outside of the ring. Also at this time, WWE was struggling in the ratings, and two of its biggest stars, in Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, was set to jump ship to rival WCW. So, after Nash's final match at a Madison Square Garden house show, members of the clique decided to blur the lines between fiction and reality, between good and bad, and embrace each other in the center of the ring to say their goodbyes. All hell broke loose backstage, and many still believe that this single event contributed to the death of kayfabe. Number 1, the Montreal Screwjob. As mentioned, WWE was struggling in the ratings during the mid-90s, and stars were jumping ship to WCW. But when longtime WWE hero Bret Hart decided to head south to Ted Turner's promotion, the situation became dire for Vince McMahon. Hart wanted to drop the belt on his own terms and receive a hero's farewell, but Vince had other plans. Before the infamous championship match at Survivor Series 1997, Mr. McMahon secretly reworked the ending to Shawn Michaels winning the title with the help of referee Earl Hebner, and the rest is wrestling history. Did Bret screw Bret, or was Vince to blame? The jury is still out on this one.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.